Hey guys, it's Tiffany of Tough Angel Books, and for this week's video I'm going to be doing the Reader Problems book tag. It is a tag that has 11 questions to answer, and it all kind of tackles pretty difficult and annoying reader problems. So let's get started. Question 1. You have 2,000 books in your TBR that you have yet to read. Pretty close. How in the world do you decide what to read next? Honestly, if I'm honestly stumped on what to decide to read next, I'll either go to a book that I've DNF'd, or I'll go to a book that I've read before, and if neither of them interest me, I'll grab a book I have yet to read. So it all depends on the mood I'm in and if what I pick up to read is interesting or not. Question 2. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit it or are you committed to reading it? Personally, it depends on how much I'm not liking it. There is a book I have tried reading it 3 times, could not get past chapter 6, I believe, and I've completely DNF'd it. It completely depends on how much I'm not liking it. If it's just one character, I'm committed. If it's the entire storyline and it's a bit too bouncy for me, I'll just quit the entire book. Question 3. The end of the year is coming. You're so close but so far from your Goodreads challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? Well, this year I'm actually 5 books away from completing the challenge. I don't know how I'm going to complete it. There is the Booktubeathon holiday readathon going on at the end of this month, so I might actually be able to finish it in the last 3 days of this year. I do not know yet. Question number 4. Covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? I'm still not coping, because one of a trilogy I absolutely love, even though I still need to read the last book, is the Blood of Eden trilogy. I have the original cover for the Immortal Rules, and I have the new covers, and I have the new cover for the Eternity Cure. It's hard, but I live with it because it's a book on my shelf and I really enjoyed it, so I'm not going to focus on the fact that they don't match. Even though as soon as I get the chance, I want to get the matching cover. And I just put the one I have aside. For 5, everyone and their mother absolutely loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? I also don't know, because a lot of the books that most people like, I do like. But in the rare event that it is something I do not like, I tend to just kind of leave it be. And I also just kind of tend to not bother seeking someone out because of a negative thing. I'm going to go find someone to bond over a book with. It's going to be a book I love, not so much one I did not like. Number 6. You're reading a book and you're about to cry in public. How do you deal with this? I have done this twice, and I just simply I've done it while listening to an audiobook and actually sitting and reading a book, and all I've done is just turn my head and look out the window very intensely so no one sees I'm crying. I've gotten that down packed. But the only times I actually read in public, well, public is when I'm in the company van going to work. So, number 7. That's 8. Question number 7. The sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten everything that happened in the prior novel. Not likely. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find the synopsis on Goodreads? What do you do? Personally, I've never had this issue. Mainly because I have this weird thing where I'll like start reading and then I'll actually remember everything that happened in the prior book. It's just the way my brain works. It's weird. It's not an eidetic memory, but it's a very functioning memory to the point of I don't actually have to worry about rereading the first book to know what happens in the second book. 8. You don't want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell them no? How do you politely tell them no when they ask? I don't bother with being polite. I will just straight up say no. My sisters are the number one people to borrow books from me, and it's gotten to the point where I actually stopped lending it to them because I would not see the books for months, even if they have not yet read it or have read it and forgot about it. If I haven't seen the book in months, you're just giving me reasons not to lend you a book ever again. And that's just with my sisters. I don't like lending books. Number 9, reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 different books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? That's a good question. I've always kind of been, slowly try to read. Like, my last reading slump caused me to take 2.5 months to read Goblet of Fire, and the only reason I was able to get through it was I would actually pick it up and read like as many pages as I could until I lost interest in reading, which would be usually between 3 pages to a full chapter. So it varies a lot. 10. There are books coming out you want to read. How many of them do you actually buy? On average, 0. I don't remember how many books I have on my to read each shelf on Goodreads, but I know that there's a lot of books I've said, oh, I want to read that. I've never read them. So honestly, it's 0 for me. I try not to buy that many books because, well, a lot of the time they get gifted to me, but I don't really buy. I sound like a bad person by saying I don't buy books often. I really want to get through the books I have now before I buy more books. I was half and half with that. Now I think it's a 4-to-6 ratio. Like 4 parts read, 6 parts unread. So need to work on that. Number 11. You just bought a brand new book that you want to get reading. How long does it sit on your shelf before you read it? To be honest, it depends on the book I just bought. If it's a book in a series that I haven't gone up to that point yet, it'll wait till I read up to that point. If it's a standalone, usually within a few weeks I'll get to it, but it really depends on what book I bought sometimes, because like there's a lot of books, like brand new books that I bought that I have not read yet. I need to fix this. I just don't know how. That is it for the Reader Problems book tag. Leave your thoughts and opinions on all of these questions in the comments down below. I will try to leave all of the questions in the description below so you guys can do this tag as well. I'm not going to tag anyone because it is now December. Happy December, by the way. So no one's going to be that into doing tags unless they're like pre-filming for like Christmas week or something. Anyway, so that is all for this week. Like I said before, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below on all these questions and everything I've said. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe because I post new videos every Thursday, and I'm kind of really looking forward to doing next week's video. So please come back and watch it and let me know what you think. Until next time, happy reading!